For millennia, humanity has sought to leave its mark, to tell stories, assert identity, and capture the beauty of the world. From the dim glow of firelit caves to the soaring cathedrals of the Renaissance, a hidden force has woven through our greatest triumphs and darkest moments. This force, embodied in the vibrant hues that adorned ancient tombs, defined empires, and breathed life into masterpieces, tells a story of discovery, innovation, and creativity. It is the story of paints and pigments, how we learn to color our world and, in doing so, express the very essence of what it means to be human. Welcome to the History of Simple Things, where we delve into the fascinating history behind the little things that shape our world. Long before humanity built cities or recorded its thoughts in writing, prehistoric people turned to the natural world for ways to tell their stories. In caves like those of Lascaux in France, dating back over 17,000 years, early humans mixed minerals such as ochre and hematite with binders like animal fat or water to create rudimentary paints. These pigments, applied with hands or primitive brushes, adorned walls with depictions of hunts, animals, and abstract symbols. These early efforts weren't just decorative, they reflected a deep need to communicate, preserve knowledge, and connect spiritually with their environment. Even in their simplicity, these colors laid the foundation for humanity's enduring relationship with art. As human societies advanced, so too did the sophistication of their pigments. Ancient Egypt stands as a beacon of innovation in this regard. Here, color transcended aesthetics to become deeply symbolic, representing gods, nature, and the afterlife. The Egyptians mastered mineral-based pigments like malachite for green and azurite for blue, embedding them in wall paintings and tomb decorations. But they didn't stop there. Egyptian blue, the world's first synthetic pigment, was crafted by heating a mixture of silica, copper, lime, and alkali. This brilliant hue adorned statues, ceramics, and temples, signifying their advanced understanding of both art and chemistry, a precursor to modern pigment science. The Greeks and Romans brought their own ingenuity to the palette, tying color to societal identity and status. Perhaps the most famous example is Tyrian purple, a pigment derived from the secretions of sea snails. The labor-intensive process of creating this dye made it prohibitively expensive, reserving it exclusively for emperors and nobility. Meanwhile, Roman frescoes showcased a range of pigments, including vermilion and cinnabar, used to depict the grandeur of their architecture and mythology. Innovations like encaustic painting, which involved blending pigments with molten beeswax, gave their art a durability and luminosity that remain impressive millennia later. During the Middle Ages, Europe's palette shifted, influenced by religious fervor and the scarcity of resources. Ultramarine, derived from the semi-precious stone lapis lazuli, emerged as a coveted pigment, so rare and expensive that it was reserved for the most sacred artworks. Its deep blue hue symbolized the divine, often used to paint the robes of the Virgin Mary. At the same time, the art of stained glass transformed cathedrals into luminous sanctuaries, with richly colored windows narrating biblical stories to illiterate congregations. The careful preparation of these pigments and their painstaking application were seen as acts of devotion, underscoring the spiritual dimensions of color during this era. The Renaissance marked a turning point as the rediscovery of classical knowledge spurred artistic and scientific breakthroughs. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Titian not only mastered existing techniques, but also pushed the boundaries of what pigments could achieve. They used vermilion, verdigris, and lead white to create depth, drama, and realism in their works. The invention of oil painting was transformative, allowing pigments to be suspended in a medium that dried slowly, enabling meticulous blending and layering. This era wasn't just a cultural rebirth, it was a revolution in the art of paint, elevating it to new levels of complexity and sophistication. The advent of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries reshaped the world of pigments entirely. Scientific discoveries led to the development of synthetic pigments, which were more affordable, consistent, and vibrant than their natural counterparts. Prussian blue, discovered accidentally in 1704, became a favorite among artists for its striking hue. This was followed by chrome yellow, cadmium red, and cobalt blue, which expanded the palette available to artists and industries alike. The creation of tube paints allowed artists to leave their studios and work en plein air, inspiring movements like Impressionism, where painters captured the ephemeral qualities of light and atmosphere. The global exchange of goods during this time also introduced new pigments to the European market, enriching the artistic landscape. Indigo, a deep blue dye from India, became a symbol of wealth and prestige, while cochineal, a red dye derived from insects native to Central America, transformed European textiles and art. These pigments, however, often came at great human and environmental cost, tied to exploitative colonial practices. Thus, the history of pigments is not just a story of artistic progress, but also a reminder of the complex dynamics of trade, power, and exploitation. In the 20th century, advancements in chemistry revolutionized pigments, making them brighter, safer, and more versatile. Titanium white replaced toxic lead white, while acrylic paints became popular for their quick-drying and durable properties. Innovations expanded the color palette, but growing concerns about toxicity led to stricter regulations and the development of safer alternatives. This era also saw a shift toward sustainability, with an increasing focus on eco-friendly, non-toxic materials in both art and industry. Today, the world of paints and pigments blends tradition with innovation. Artists have access to everything from natural earth pigments to synthetic dyes and advanced nanomaterials. Eco-friendly options derived from algae, plants, and recycled materials are reshaping the industry, while cutting-edge technology creates pigments that shift color, reflect light, or respond to the environment. The history of paints and pigments is ultimately a story of humanity's quest to understand and shape the world, a journey from ancient earth tones to the vibrant hues of modern masterpieces. Paint is more than a medium. It is a timeless testament to human creativity and connection. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.